Drumroll, please! Here are your new Snowplow names, Minnesota! After nearly 60,000 votes cast, Plowy McPlowface has 8 new friends joining the fleet, one for each MN. District around the state. Learn more here. Name a snowplow, class of 2022. Betty Whiteout. Control Salt Delete. The Big Laplowski. Plowosaurus Rex. Scoop Dog. Blizzard of Oz. No more Mr. Ice Guy. Edward Blizzard Hands. God damn it, that's the stuff! My surgeon came out and told my mom and brother on Tuesday that I'd be down and out for about 2 weeks. My brother, 2 weeks? Holy shit! Surgeon, well, consider this. She and I just had a knife fight, and I won, because she was asleep during it. My brother, oh, yeah, okay, that's fair. Your surgeon sounds fucking hysterical. Imagine if you had won, though. I made this post 6 years ago and it has 195,000 notes, and this is my favorite response to it. I didn't learn about this in driving school. Stop, says the red light. Go, says the green. Wait, says the yellow light, twinkling in between. Kneel, says the demon light, with its eye of coal. Sauron knows your license plate and stares into your soul. This is always funny. I've only seen this legendary post in screenshots. The photojournalist's dilemma. Save your girlfriend's pasta or get the shot of a lifetime. We owe it to our commitment to the truth to not interfere in the story. That is the choice. The moment we act, we are involved with creating the story, and as we become a part of it, it becomes partially about us, and the truth then may never be known. Actors cannot be unbiased. Actors become targets. Rip spaghetti belongings. That's not how you say spaghetti bolognese! Why do people like a character who's committed war crimes but hate this other character just because they're annoying? Because it's fiction, Susan, and being annoying in fiction is a greater sin than being a supervillain, because it won't make me want to read about them. It isn't difficult to understand. It is absurd to divide people into good and bad. People are either charming or tedious. Oscar Wilde. The war crimes are fictional, but my annoyance is real. Really? I say to inanimate objects that are not working like they usually do. Stay? I glare at inanimate objects that continuously fall over. Thank you, I say exasperatedly to the inanimate objects when they do finally work right or stay put. Sorry, I say to the table I bumped into. Shh, I say to the inanimate object that keeps making noise. Yeah, I'm coming, I huff at the persistent kitchen timer. Don't take that tone with me, I exclaim at objects that make strange and sudden unknown noises. Stop crying, you're fine, I snap as I'm looking for the charger cord for the electronic device beeping demandingly at me. Oh, nice. Real mature, I snarl at devices that suddenly stop working after I berate them for not working properly. Y'all ever get fatigued so bad that you're laying down and it feels like you need to lay down more? Advanced laying, somehow. Do you mean sleeping? No, like laying down, but more. More laying. Laying beyond the physical bounds of objects and surfaces. Clipping through the floor like Bethesda published me. I'm so upset. I just realized that the reason ghosts say boo is because it's a Latin verb. They're literally saying, I alarm, I am alarming, I do alarm. I can't. Present active, boo. Present infinitive, boar. Perfect active, boavi. Supine, boatum. Wrecked. Intransitive, I cry aloud, bellow, roar, bray. Sed in prima remansi voci et identitam boavi. But I stayed stuck on the first syllable and brayed it repeatedly. Transitive, I call loudly upon, bellow, cry, or roar forth. If it comes from the Latin word, they're actually saying, I'm yelling! Which is even cuter. Do they speak Latin because it's a dead language? Get out. This is exactly the kind of content I come here for. Like, I want to print this out, frame it, and put it on my wall. So, I'm actually from the future where we've been married 20 years. I am just here to resolve an argument over when and where our first date was. Oh, yeah? And how do you want to resolve this then? Well, you see, I thought on our first date we went bowling and had dinner. You thought our first date we got pizza and watched movies at my place. You have to tell me which one it was to settle this argument for the sake of our future relationship. I think you've gone back a little too far because we haven't done either of these yet. But if I got to choose, I think bowling and dinner would be our first date, and pizza at your place would be our second. That was exactly what happened! I knew I was right. Also, it seems my phone was wiped clean during the time travel and I lost your phone number. Could I have that back, please? Censored for the person's safety. Jesus Christ, it actually worked! Yep, that guy was super smooth, like a smooth criminal. No one wants to really hear it, but lasting relationships include a lot of forgiveness, and patience, and compromise, and learning, giving up pride, this, and communicating. Forgiving what exactly? Forgiving the fact that there are people who are working through their past, like you, and will occasionally project their past traumas on you the way you might with them. Forgiving yourself, because growth takes time, and learning to be a pair is more work than just being on your own. Having partners you trust to forgive those moments where you might fall, help you back up and move forward, in my opinion, builds up the trust and love you need for a thriving relationship. That last comment was beautiful. Shout out to my Arabic teacher that looked at us yesterday mid-lesson and said, "I'm worried. You all look exhausted and depressed." Of course, we were all like, "Oh yeah, we're dead inside. You haven't noticed?" And he snapped shut the textbook, threw up his hands and said, "That's not healthy. No more vocab. Time for dancing." And he taught us a dance from Iraq, and we danced instead of doing vocab. We didn't stop dancing until he saw all of us laughing and was satisfied that we were all feeling better. It was perhaps the coolest, most kind-hearted thing I've ever seen a college instructor do. Faith in humanity restored. There are good teachers out there. Gender-affirming surgery of "Give me elf ears." Gender-affirming surgery of "Give me vampire fangs." Gender-affirming surgery of "Give me tiefling horns." Congratulations! You are now a Homestuck troll! This is the worst possible reply to this post. Have a horrible day. You did that to yourself. All of Tumblr. We fucking hate bots. Also Tumblr. I will protect Haiku Bot. Hey, I love bots when they're just here to play with us. Commercial bots suck. Hey, I love bots when they're just here to play with us. Commercial bots suck. Beep boop. I look for accidental haiku posts. Sometimes I mess up. Ha ha! The return of Haiku Bot! Children in horror movies are great because they commit. Trying to get an adult to scream in terror requires them to unlearn all the societal teachings that tell them not to be loud or startling. Children are ready to put 110% of their lung capacity into making a noise at any time. Adult. I trained with a vocal coach, so I knew I wouldn't strain my larynx during filming. Child. You want me to scream? Okay. Ah! Describe Homestuck is a weird question, because you can describe the overarching plot, but not the weird branches it shoots off into. Like, Homestuck is about a reality-altering video game that comes about at the end of every world that, if beaten, allows the players to become gods of the next world. We follow 4 kids from our world who play it, the aliens from the previous game that made our world, and a reboot game that comes about when ours fails. And then someone asks about how the fuck Betty Crocker plays into it, and you don't fucking know how to answer without a goddamn essay. This is true. I know Homestuck, and I know about Betty Crocker, but for the life of me, I could not explain it to you. You just have to read it for yourself. I am seeing activity from blogs that have not posted in years. It's like watching permafrost melt, observing you all in my petri dish. The frogs are emerging from their slumber. Ancient viruses are emerging from the polar ice caps melting. Choose your vibe. Had a dream last night where marbles were back en vogue and everyone carried their marbles around in cute little pouches that they'd clip onto their backpacks, or purse straps, or belt loops, so they'd always have their marbles on them, and your marbles were deeply personal objects that showcased your individual personality, and people would get really passionate and proud of them, and playing for keeps was a deeply serious and honor-bound affair. And I played a game with an old man while waiting for a bus, and he told me how he met his wife while playing in a 4 keeps tournament, and in a miracle shot, he knocked out her most precious marble, a brilliant sparkling green one with an inside like a geode, and when he looked up he found she was crying at its loss, and so right there on the spot he proposed to her, so that she could divorce him and take it back in the divorce. But in the end, he told me, she kept me and the marble, and I awoke teary and resentful to be ripped from a fleeting world that had found for itself such a small and beautiful piece. Hate can be romantic. If you don't understand this, you will never comprehend my warrior's bond. This is how enemies to lovers works, I think. You misunderstand me. There is no reconciliation of enemies into lovers here. The states exist simultaneously. Romantic hate. You do not understand my warrior's bond. I understand I seem to have dug my own grave here. Dug with, perhaps, a spade? Oops, you reinvented Homestuck. Kinda like a kiss nemesis or something. If only there was some kind of portmanteau of those words. It's time we start oppressing people that use the word hubby. Sorry, but Hubble Space Telescope takes too long to say. As the literal social media manager for said telescope, I promise I screamed and frothed at the mouth with the desire to tweet a screenshot of this. Annabeth is terrified. You're what? Lol, yep, that's the day job. I started last year after graduating, working on the NASA side of things with the mission doing social media outreach, so I'm going to do my obligatory hubby link drop. Insta, Twitter, FB. I can't believe we're all young professionals and academics and we're still logging onto tumblr.com every single day to clown on ourselves. Who let this happen? Look man, this is the only place left I'm allowed to say clown shit without it impacting my career. Just let me have this. Executive dysfunction be like, wants to do something, doesn't do it, feels bad. Wants to do something, doesn't do it, feels bad. Wants to do something, doesn't do it, feels bad. I recently learned that executive dysfunction can be broken down into two main categories: anxiety that your attempt won't be satisfactory, or confusion about where to start or how to break it down into steps. As much as we feel bad about it, it's extremely important to remember that it is not laziness, and we in fact shouldn't feel bad. Hey, reblog this instead! I was looking everywhere in the car for my vape because I lost it and I found these instead. I'm astounded at the level of personality that can be predicted from the word vape and these glasses. This is the meanest thing anyone's ever said to me in my entire life, but I can't even argue with this. What could I possibly say to defend myself in this instance? This was a one-hit KO. This was a murder. This was a fucking slaughter, and I have only myself to blame. You act like people knowing you're in the Squirrel Squad is a bad thing? Yes, that is exactly where these glasses are from. A perfectly respectable, long-standing anime, and nothing more. No, it's Homestuck. Been on Tumblr for years, and it's something I'm still struggling with. It's just hard for me to justify hitting the reblog button and putting something on my blog if I don't have anything to add to it. God, some of you are just so weird about having content on this site. Justify? Babes, it's a bullshit internet scrapbook, not a fucking PhD thesis. You know the thing where you find something funny and you hold out your phone to your friends so they can see it too? Reblogging is just you holding out your phone to show us the neat thing you found. Exactly, that's what I try to do on this YouTube channel. I'm showing you the cool thing I found on Tumblr. I hope you guys like this stuff. If you don't love languages, hear me out. My Telugu friend had been affectionately calling me a Hindi speaker, Gundi, for 7 months. We didn't realize until recently that the word has two completely different meanings in Telugu and Hindi, and that we both had completely different interpretations of her affection. In Telugu, Gundi means small, button, round, cute. In Hindi, Gundi means female thug. Well, that's interesting. Elon Musk has officially bought Twitter. See y'all on Tumblr. Brace yourselves. Fortunately, there is a very easy way to drive brands off Tumblr. Don't follow them. Yeah, they'll likely blaze some posts. The smart ones will blaze shit posts. Don't reblog them. Don't reblog. Don't follow. Just let them lurk around the edges of Tumblr. That's the whole joy of Tumblr, honestly. The lack of algorithm means that they can't game the system. They can't force their way in front of your eyeballs. Brands here are like vampires. They can't come in unless they're invited. Don't let them in. Denny's only succeeded here because we allowed it to. If you want to avoid the adpocalypse, keep supporting our local homegrown shitposters and ignore any attempts from corporations to create a Denny's too. So my dad and brother took separate cars to dinner tonight, and this happened. They look like they are arguing about who is going to go home and change. Oh, they were. Jake, you've got to be kidding me. Dad, you saw me walk through the kitchen on my way to pick up your sister. Jake, no, seriously, do you have an extra shirt in your car? This is ridiculous. Oh my god, they're gonna kill me. They didn't want to even walk into the restaurant together, let alone have this many people reblog this photo. Honestly, I'm not deleting my Tumblr solely in the hopes that this post one day hits 1 million notes. Good news! Gave my cat expensive bottled water, and now she won't drink tap water. I was too lazy to go refill her water bowl at the sink, and so I poured some of my spring water into her bowl, and she lapped it up in like 2 seconds. From then on, she won't drink tap water. I tried giving her only tap water yesterday, and she didn't drink for a whole day, so I relented and gave her bottled water this morning, and she drank it perfectly. It's Fiji water too, the most expensive kind. She won't even drink Dasani, although I do agree that Dasani water tastes like it's been inside a water gun all day. Lol. Put tap water in the Fiji bottle and let her watch you refill the bottle with the Fiji water. Worth a shot. Do this OP, but let it sit overnight after you pour it into the bottle. Also, if your Fiji water was refrigerated, then refrigerate the fake Fiji water. Letting it sit overnight will remove some of the chlorine smell. Oh my god, it worked! Thank you so much! Now I know she's just brand obsessed and not actually a water connoisseur. Oh my god.